Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Notorious Autosports. I know it's been a while, a couple months since I've had a video out. If you are new to the channel, thank you for joining. If you are not, thank you for returning. Really appreciate it. This past summer has been crazy busy, lots going on, and unfortunately I fell a little bit behind in creating content for you guys. So I really hope you guys keep coming back. I plan on having a lot more consistent content here in the next little bit. Today we are working on the BMW. I had in one of my last videos, I was some front end damage on that occurred, and I was hoping to have some content on the repair process. Unfortunately, I didn't get a whole lot on that. I got to the paint shop. I do have a progress photo that I'll show you guys kind of midway, but unfortunately I wasn't able to go through the paint shop while they were doing a lot of the process just because of my day job and other requirements. But we've got facelift or LCI front end on it now, 2009 to 2011 style hood. This is a 2006. And then also we have a 2009 to 2011 M3 style front bumper with a Kirscher splitter down below there. Definitely a lot more aggressive look on the car. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I had some other paint work and some spots touched up while it was in there. It just made sense. Also updated side skirts 2009 to 2011 as well. I apologize for the noise in the background if you guys can hear it. The humming there. There is some equipment next door in the building I'm using here, but I had the opportunity to use a full detail bay today, which is greatly appreciated, because today I'm going to be doing something that's new to me and hopefully a little new to some of you guys. And today's video is brought to you in part by Avalon King, where we've got some ceramic coat that I'm going to apply today, and this is going to be really cool. I'd like to say thank you to Avalon King for sponsoring this video and sponsoring with these ceramic products. So we'll do a little unpackaging here. First thing I like is, well, as I struggle here one-handed, the original packaging or initial packaging. Very cool looking. These boxes, they're all nicely set up with branding and logoing. You've got your King on the front there, and it's Armor Shield IX indicating what's in the package. And then, well, we'll get this unboxed here. Nice shiny silver. It's just attractive, and it's nice to have a product like that. Here is the big ticket item right here. So this is a Nano technology ceramic coating. There's been a whole lot of hype on this stuff lately, and I'm really excited to put it to the test. We've got really aggressive winters here in Canada with salt and brine put on the road. So I want to see what this stuff will do at 3 months for its durability with the salt, and then at 6 months. It'd be cool to see. As well in the packaging, we have a nice microfiber for polishing that coating once you've got it on there. This foam applicator, which can be wrapped in these little felts to actually put it on nice and evenly. And then of course, a pair of gloves. Very, very important to have clean surface, and also clean hands while you're applying it to that prep surface. I ordered these as well. So we got a boost spray that can be put on at 6 months to kind of revive that hydrophobic action there. And it comes with a nice foam applicator or microfiber applicator as well. These packages, they're very cool. Like opening them right out of the box, very impressed. Just how they've got these presented. And it just goes to show, like, a company's putting some time and thought into not just the product, but its appearance, and that goes a long way. These products aren't cheap, so you definitely want to get something for your money. I got this pre-prep spray that I bought as well. So this is an isopropyl mix and I'm gonna be doing some paint correction on this side of the car, the two doors, the quarter panel, the trunk lid, and the bumper, where I didn't have paint work done. When they painted the front end of the car, they did blend into both fenders, so those are re-cleared. I also had a rust-free door that I installed on that side. It was getting a little bit of rust on the bottom. Welcome to Canada and 15-year-old car. So I had them touch up the fender that I had installed, the door they repainted, the rear door they blended into and re-cleared, and then that rear quarter panel. So a lot of fresh paint and fresh clear, which is nice because I won't have to do paint correction on those, and I'm excited to see the difference actually, or if there is a difference between applying and the durability of ceramic coat on fresh clear coat versus paint corrected and original clear coat. And after we do all that polishing, I've got this IPA prep spray that's gonna get rid of any contaminants. I do have a body shop safe polishing compound, multiple different ones there, but it's gonna be nice that I can get rid of any contaminants that may be remaining there before applying that ceramic coat, because you don't wanna have any imperfections in that. So I'm gonna start by spraying the front end of the car down with an all-purpose cleaner. I haven't actually washed the car since I got it back from the paint shop, so there are no additional swirl marks in this fresh clear. The car is filthy, so I'm gonna give it a pre-prep spray there, and then I'll actually go over some of the products that I'll be using today as well before we get to the Avalon King ceramic coating. And all right, so we got some pre-soak going on in the car. Just spray some purple power all over kind of those more soiled areas, kind of loosen up some of that. I don't have a foam cannon. That would be nice, but this will serve a very similar purpose. Typically when you are doing a wash on a ceramic coated vehicle, you're gonna wanna use a low pH wash so it does not attack that coating and break it down. In this case, I don't have anything on there, so using that purple power, it's a bit more aggressive, perfectly fine. Well, I'll show you just some of the products we're gonna have here today. When we do the wash on the car, we're gonna start with this Chemical Guys Clean Slate. That's gonna break down any waxes or any products that are on the paint previously. And we're gonna go over it with this clay mitt. This is so much easier than using actual clay. They're good for one car, two cars maybe. All that contaminant sticks in there and then gone. This stuff, rinse it out, warm water, let it dry. You do like 5, 6+ cars depending on how dirty they are. I'm gonna use this quick detailer as a clay lube. This stuff is cheap, guys. If you don't want to spend the $20, $25 on a clay lube, go get this stuff, Amazon, 10 bucks. I've got some Bloomco polishes here today. This is my more aggressive, and then we have the fine finish. So I will be doing that on those panels that do not have fresh clear coat, bringing them up, getting any swirls out of that before we put the ceramic coating on. But before we actually install that too, as I talked about, this prep spray, then we have our ceramic coating, which will be our final product. And then the booster spray every 3 to 6 months, depending on your needs there. So I'm gonna get into this. It's been soaked a little bit. I'm gonna rinse it down, and then I'm gonna go over it with that clean slate, get as much as I can off of that, maybe even do a second wash, make sure it's really, really clean before I get into doing that clay mitt. That will take any of those micro contaminants out of the paint and give you a really good base for polishing. If you don't do that, you can have stuff in that paint. All you're gonna do is just smear it around with your polish and introduce additional scratches. So make sure you have a very, very clean surface before doing any paint correction or polishing. All right, so now I am on to the Chemical Guys Clean Slate Wash. I highly recommend getting a nice wash mitt. The old fur type ones, I don't know, I find a lot of stuff gets tangled up in them, hard to get it out. Go spend the 10, 15 bucks, get a wash mitt, get some grit guards for your pails. Today I'm doing the 2-pail method, so I've got grit guards in both pails. That keeps any dirt that's coming off of this out of the water, sink to the bottom, so it's not going to get back in there, and you're not going to be putting it right back on the car. So I got one pail with the soap, and another pail just straight water, and I'm not a professional detailer by any means. I have detailed a lot of my own cars, so I'm sure there are other methods, other procedures you can take, but this is what I'm going with today. I always like to try and start on the higher surfaces too, and wash your way down. Just working at the bottom of the way, bottom edge of the door, and going up. Seems kind of counterproductive to me. You're also potentially bringing dirt up the door, whereas when you've got something up here, it's rinsing down. That's the way I've always done it. Seems working for me, so I'm gonna keep rolling that way. This video is probably going to be as long enough as it is, so you guys don't need to watch the whole car. I'm sure there's tons of other videos out there on how to wash your car properly. I'm just going to get this done, get it dried off, and then we'll get into the cleaning. I'll show you a little bit about that. I'm just going to show you a bit of each step that I'm doing. If you want to, there are going to be tons and tons of video or other channels on YouTube that go through each step that I'm doing super in depth. I'm going to do a brief overview, kind of give you guys the idea, and then move on to the next one so that this isn't a 4-hour video. This is why people like the 2-bucket method. I have not cleaned the wheels yet. Look at that rinse water. That is filthy. Just to take note, I will be using a separate dirty, actually one of those kind of crummy wash mitts that I was talking about, the fur type ones, for the wheels, because I don't like wrecking my good one on that. Alright, we are now on our final pre-polishing prep stage. Got my quick detailer or clay lubricant, clay mitt, going over the whole car. This side, obviously, we're going to have less contaminants to pull from the paint because it is fresh. But still, I've noticed going over it, there's a little bit. The other side, definitely more from the age of it. And what this does is it will pull micro contaminants out of the paint. You can also see little red dots or environmental fallout, and this will pull a lot of that out too. There is fallout sprays that you can do before you wash the car as well. I was originally going to do that, forgot to get some, and again, there's a lot of steps here, so I think we'll be okay with what we're doing so far. But this, you basically just want to mist it on there generously. You do not want this to have any drag when it is on a painted surface. And then you're just going to go back and forth. And this, because it's fresh clear, there's not much in there. But on the other side, you could actually hear, when you ran your hand across it, you could hear, it's almost like sanding, where that pitch changes. So you'll run it across once, and you can hear that it's kind of scratchy. Again, not so much with this, but then you run over it a second time, and it feels a lot smoother, sounds a lot smoother, so you can actually do a lot of it just audibly. But you're going to always want to make sure that you've got a ton of lubricant, otherwise you can actually mar the paint. So I've got the hood, the front bumper left, getting close, and we're into polishing, and then with this quick detailer spray, all I'm doing afterwards to get the residue off is just go over it with a detailing cloth or another microfiber. Pretty simple. Quick, straightforward, but definitely super, super important step for pre-polishing. All right, guys, we are now on to our First polishing step, a more aggressive compound. Got my polisher here. I really like these Makita polishers because they have a soft start. It doesn't just go full speed as soon as you squeeze the trigger. Really nice. It doesn't fling your compound everywhere. And I've got these Lake Country buffing pads, polishing pads. They're my favorite so far. They have this nice contoured edge. This one's getting a bit rough. I think that was a couple motorcycle fairing bolts kind of tore into it, but still working pretty good right now. I do have some other ones too if I find that these aren't cutting it. What I'm going to do is go over this trunk lid, back bumper, and then down the side of the car with my first stage compound. And I have a specific rag that I'm going to use for wiping that first stage compound off. These ones are actually really nice. They have a colored edge to them. The other one I have for stage 2 has a green edge. You can keep them very simply organized, not cross-contaminating. That way you're not getting first stage compound wiping off with your second stage compound rag or vice versa, and it just makes a mess of it. You're not going to introduce scratches after you've already gone through and done your final stage by accidentally grabbing this rag from the first stage. So I'm going to go over, try and level this paint a bit more and get rid of some of the swirls from years of washing and age in general. And then there's some scratches on the bumper here. I try and minimize them. Again, it's old paint. You're not going to get it perfect, but definitely worth taking the time to try and make it look as good as you can before you go to the stage of doing that ceramic coat. That will actually amplify any paint imperfections. So you're going to want to try and do your best. Again, this is all DIY stuff, and this is the theme of today's episode. It's all DIY. This ceramic coat from Avalon King is catered to DIY guys and having an excellent final product quality. All the rest of the stuff I'm doing today is all stuff you guys can do at home, in your driveway, in your garage. These are all simply acquired items. You can get a cheaper polisher. This one is definitely a little higher end there, but you can find them pre-owned. That's what I did. I needed a bit of work. Sent it out, spent $100 having a refurb, good to go. I've had it for multiple years now. All the products I've shown you today, again, you can get them at your local hardware store or detailing shop. These polishes are directly from Bloomco. There are going to be equivalents that you're going to be able to find. The biggest thing you want to keep an eye out for is you don't want silicones in these polishes. There's a lot of cheap polishes out there. They look great. You can actually take rubbing alcohol and wipe, and you'll actually see your scratches come back, because these cheap polishes are just filling in the scratches instead of actually leveling that paint and getting rid of the scratches. So that's what this is really good for. Again, body shop safe, so it doesn't have any silicones or contaminants in there that can affect if you're doing a blend or doing a polish to spray into a blend or something like that. Just do some research, guys, and you can find a decent polish. There are a lot out there. There's a lot of online detailing sites as well now. Free shipping is a big thing. Things are easy to get at. We are at a very good peak for ease of access for anything you want. 10, 15 years ago, so much more challenging. So we're very fortunate that way. Enough of that, I'm going to get into this polishing. Going to spread some of the compound around so it doesn't fling so much. Polisher speed is low, and don't want to develop a ton of heat, because that's what will damage it. So just take your time, nice and easy, and don't concentrate heat in one spot. You're going to want to be moving around constantly and spreading that heat out. Wipe down, get rid of all your compound residue. you've gotten the majority of your deeper scratches or heavier scratches out, and then you know if it's time to go on to your next compound. Of course, I'm going to do all of the panels that I need to first in this stage, and then continue on to the next. Alright guys, gonna end this video here this week. For now, as you can see, there's a lot of steps that need to go through to get this car even ready to put the ceramic coat on. I just finished with doing the right side of the car and the back with the final stage of compound. And then of course the battery dies on the camera. So as I was saying, finished all with the final coat of final polish. There is a ton of time that goes into this. A lot of people don't realize you actually need to dedicate probably 8 to 10 hours to do a proper paint correction and also to apply the ceramic coat, or break it down into 2 days. Do all your prep work. If you have a clean place that you can have the car inside overnight, do all your prep work, get everything set up, and then the next morning go out and take your time applying the ceramic coat, and then you can leave it inside in heat or out of the elements for another day at least, and let that ceramic coating cure. So I will catch you guys next video. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for next week for the ceramic coat application by Avalon King.